This podcast is one that needs some self-reflection. And yes, I am speaking about Harley Davidson, where Harley Davidson is at and where Harley Davidson was. On behalf of Harley Davidson, I am not paid by Harley Davidson. I received nothing since 1903. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most iconic American companies. But I ask you, every single American citizen that is alive and breathing in this country, welcome back to Gallagher's Grip. This is Daniel Gallagher, and this podcast is one of begging and pleading. This podcast is one that needs some self-reflection, some thought on one of the most iconic companies in the history of mankind, in the history of the world. And yes, I am speaking about Harley Davidson. And as many of you know, I am a big Harley Davidson enthusiast. I enjoy the motorcycle. I'm all for Harley Davidson, but I have to be honest with you. I stay on top of all of the most recent news, all of the news outlets, and where Harley Davidson is at and where Harley Davidson was, and the whole woke culture, etc., that took place in that company. And I am reaching out to every flag-wearing, flag-hanging American citizen in this country. On behalf of Harley Davidson, I am not paid by Harley Davidson. I receive nothing from Harley Davidson. This is coming more so from trying to get behind a company since 1903. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most iconic American companies that has ever walked the face of this planet. Now, I understand every company goes down different roads throughout the course of decade after decade after decade. It is not easy to stay in business in today's day and age with all the policies, all the procedures, all the insurance costs, all the labor costs, all the part costs, all the costs that are associated with any business. It is not easy. It is just not easy. And you put people in place just like you do with NFL teams, baseball teams, hockey teams, because you sit back, you look at the person, and you say, you know what? Let's go with this person as the president. Let's go with this person as the general manager. Let's sign this guy up for our running back. Let's sign this guy up for our quarterback. At the end of the day, you go off statistics, you go off the past performances, and you try to make the best decision you possibly can. You know, nobody has a crystal ball. But I ask you, every single American citizen that is alive and breathing in this country, we cannot allow Harley Davidson to go down. I read on social media, Harley went woke, Harley Davidson this, Harley Davidson went that, and I understand how you feel. And I'm not disagreeing with how you felt back then. And they did make major changes now to position themselves for the future. Everybody makes mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. Every company makes mistakes. I make 10 mistakes at minimum every day of my life. It's life. But to actually read a recent publication that defines how much Harley Davidson is losing and why per quarter or per year, it is very bothersome to me, and it should be bothersome to you, because it is an American company. Whether you ride motorcycles or not, that is not the point here. The point is that we cannot let the most American companies founded here created here, engineered here, everything here on American soil. We cannot let this company go. We cannot let this company die. We cannot let a company that has served the United States of America for so many decades, have given us so many heart palpitations, and each heart palpitation is one that screams freedom, is one that screams we are here, is one that allows us to take a stance against any and all issues here in America. The most iconic, steadfast business that exists, in my opinion, in the United States of America since 1903. We almost have a obligation and a duty to stand behind this company. I understand some of the parts are being made offshore now. I get all of it. I do get all of it. I understand a lot of you guys think that the motorcycles are grossly overpriced. I read it. I'm not saying I disagree with what you're saying. Okay. Yes, it's not easy to justify paying $50,000 for a motorcycle. It certainly isn't. It's not easy paying $50,000 for anything, because at the end of the day, why? Why? It's because of all the overhead associated with that motorcycle. It all falls on you as you finance the motorcycle, etc., and try to pay it off if it doesn't get repossessed because your loan is 5, 10 years, etc., etc. The point is this. Every company makes mistakes. There's no doubt about it. But the companies that are American bred, companies that have been around since before our time. I believe in my heart, as an American citizen, I believe that those companies deserve second chances, ladies and gentlemen. I do. I do. They've made mistakes. Budweiser going woke. Yes, they made mistakes. We all know it. But do we turn against an American company that bad to the point where we want them to dissolve, go out of business, not be in existence anymore? Is that who we are? I don't think so. That is not who we are as a country at any level. We are the United States of America. We are the biggest and best country that exists on this planet, and we always will be if we have the right leadership in place. And we have an obligation, in my opinion, and a duty to make sure that the top 5, 10 most iconic companies ever to walk this planet has our backing and has our support as American citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. If you've seen some of my other podcasts, it is a unbelievable feeling to see, witness, and be involved or around a Harley Davidson line of motorcycles, side by side, 5 miles long, representing the sound and noise of the freedom of the free world of the United States of America. And perhaps that noise rings out for people that have cancer, people that have any kind of illness at all. It is America. It is American, and it is a group of people who are unbelievably patriotic and believe in the core concept of what this country was founded on back when it was founded. It's real. It's Harley Davidson. You walk into a Harley Davidson dealership, you look at these motorcycles, and I've got one right here in my studio, right here, okay? You walk in and you become part of a club, you become part of a membership, you become part of a culture that is indescribably amazing. A culture, a club that stands for helping people, that stands for standing next to and or behind or in front of your colleague, of a brother, a sister in that world, and you help each other and you take care of each other. When have we gotten away from that, America, and why? Why have we gotten away from the red, white, and blue? Why have we gotten away from being so proud to be an American citizen? I am the most proudest of all Republican American citizens that walk this planet. And I feel even more proud when I'm on a motorcycle going down the street for all the right causes. We need to stand behind this company. Yes, they've made mistakes. We all have. Take a moment and look in the mirror. Grab a piece of paper and pen and write down the 10 mistakes you've made today, this week, this month. It's not right for the American citizens to turn on a company that is so monumentally American. It is not right. I mean, when you compare Harley Davidson to other motorcycle companies, yeah, I know they're more expensive. We all know it. We get it, right? And that is a representation of the times. That's a representation of inflation. It's a representation of a million reasons why their motorcycles are so much more. But a company founded in 1903 that has truly evolved over the course and time of history, a company that has survived so many wars, a company that has survived so many ups and downs and depressions, a company that has seen it all. A company that has seen it all, ladies and gentlemen. They deserve our respect. And there's many other companies like Harley Davidson that's been around that long, but they deserve our respect, in my opinion. And for those of you who don't know much about Harley Davidson, I ask that you read up about Harley Davidson. Yes, they're getting bad press. Yes, they're losing money, but I'm praying to God that these guys can get out of the funk that they find themselves in, because it would be a huge American loss, in my opinion, if we lost such an amazing American company, an iconic company. You know, it does suck because a lot of these companies, these auto manufacturers, these motorcycle manufacturers, they're tied into a world where they ultimately have no choice, whether you like it or whether I like it, whether we like to admit it or not. They have got no choice but to send their products overseas so they can continue to compete with the other competitors here in the United States of America. Let me say this to you, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee you that this shirt, my jeans, and everything that's on this body right now says made from China, Indonesia, Japan, Taiwan, you name it. And I guarantee that if you were to actually take off all of your clothes and look at where those clothes were made, you are wearing clothes that are from another country. You are just as guilty. You are not buying clothes in the United States. You're buying clothes that's being sold in the United States, but not being manufactured in the United States. So I say this to you, ladies and gentlemen, I really do. We've got a company. We've got companies here. You've got Coca-Cola, you've got Pepsi, you've got Harley Davidson, you've got McDonald's, you've got flagship companies that represent the United States of America. And I believe in my heart it is a duty that we have here as patriotic American citizens to make sure that these companies do not flourish and do not die. And I'm specifically referencing Harley Davidson at the moment. Is the leadership bad at the moment? I don't know. Many would suggest it is. If you read the articles, many would suggest that the last CEO was terrible, didn't have the correct vision, didn't have the correct anything. And now Harley Davidson, a company known for the loud noises that scream freedom, is considering and has created electric bikes. Let me actually tell you the truth, okay? Electric motorcycles, real motorcycles, they're ridiculous. They are ridiculous. A motorcycle, in my opinion, is made to be able to start your engines, hear the noise roar as loud as the pipes will allow it to. Could you imagine NASCAR? Could you imagine NASCAR being 100% electric cars? I mean, think about that for 1 second. Could you imagine drag racing or the monster truck series being electric, silent vehicles, right? I mean, come on, right? It's ridiculous. It's just not American. But as I read, all of my news feeds as I get on a daily basis, I read everything about Harley Davidson. And folks, I don't live, eat, and breathe my motorcycle. I've got a lot of priorities, as we all do. But I can tell you this: it breaks my heart. It bothers me that the one of the most iconic American companies, and everybody has their opinions. I know, I get it. Okay, but. One of the most iconic American companies is having such a problem. Why? Is it the leadership? I don't know. Maybe it's maybe it's society. Maybe people are viewing motorcycles as just too dangerous to take the risk. I don't know. I don't know what it is. And I know that when I'm on my motorcycle, I'm very cautious and careful, but I'm also, smart enough to realize that things can happen. And it's certainly not the safest of all things, but you train yourself. And the more you ride, the more you understand what to do in case there is a issue or accident, just like a pilot in the sky, etc. So I believe in my heart that we have to stand behind, support, and honor the companies that have been through so many changes, good and bad. I think they deserve our respect, and I think that they deserve us standing behind them. And I ask you politely, I ask you professionally, when you look at Harley Davidson, what I see is a company and a brand that has been around for so long and has been through so many wars. I think that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a fighter and I believe in fighting through situations and scenarios. I believe in never giving up. I believe in never quitting. And I believe in doing what is necessary to allow yourself to get through the black cloud and climb up the mountain and get to the top. And I believe that's Harley Davidson. That's why I respect them so much. They do nothing but fight and continue on a daily basis, on an annual basis, decade after decade. They are a company who continues to fight to get to the top. They fight to get through the black cloud. They are an amazing company, and they stand for a culture that is more American than perhaps any other company in the history of this great country that we find ourselves living in. Freedom, land of the free, home of the brave, the American flag, a group of people that respect and honor the freedom that a motorcycle allows you to have on a beautiful 80-degree day with all of your close friends, going out on the open road and enjoying life. At the end of the day, that's what it is all about. Whether you are a boater, whether you're an outdoor hiker, whether you're a motorcyclist, whatever brings you happiness. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what it is all about. It is about being happy in life. We're not born in this world to literally work 80 hours a week in and week out. That's not why we were put on this planet. That is we're a victim of a man-made system that forces us to have to get into the rat race to do that. Remember, folks, and I'm not getting into this topic in great detail, but we all follow a system created by man, created by a bunch of people around the round table that says, let's figure out how we can control these people and let's come up with a system that benefits us the most, et cetera, et cetera. I tell you here and now, We have to stand behind the American companies. We have a right and a duty, in my opinion. Yes, you have your own opinions. You can do what you want as an American citizen. That is why we are a free nation. But how can we let some of the most iconic companies that has ever walked the face of this planet die? How can we as Americans allow that to happen? I believe in freedom. I believe in this country. I believe in your ability to make your own decisions. And I believe in backing up the American companies that may have gotten off track throughout the course of time, but who doesn't? Back them, please. Let's be American.